It's time for Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors.
Good Sunday morning to you. This is Karey Brown, broker, owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors, and you are listening to Real Estate 101. Today I am here with Ivan Weichert, and he is with the Topeka Home Builders Association. Good morning, Ivan.
Good morning, Karey.
So we're going to be talking about what the Topeka Home Builders Association is, what they do for their contractors, how they help the community, and lots of other great information. So let's start off with, who is Topeka Home Builders Association?
Topeka Home Builders Association was founded in 1953 and has been operating continuously for that entire time. And it was set up to be a source of education, of recognition for the builders and all the subcontractors and businesses that take part in construction of any kind. Now we come to 2016. It's still around. Sometimes the economy makes those numbers go up or down, but we have about 190 businesses that are members of the Home Builders Association. In general, the association, like I said, offers education to its builders and contractors, but we also offer networking opportunities, social get-togethers for all the members. We offer different advantages for insurance. One of the best programs we did many years ago was to become a self-insured source for workers' compensation insurance. So our members have the ability to contract with their insurance agents under a different program, the Kansas Builders Insurance Group, and get workers' compensation insurance at a better price and a reliable company. So we're really, really proud of that accomplishment over the years. One of the other things that happens with our contractors is we seek out licensed, insured, reputable contractors to be members of our association. And if you go to our website, which is THBA.com, and pull up the name of any of our builders or remodeling contractors, you'll also see information that lists their City of Topeka license number along with that. And to be able to have a license in the city, you have to have a $1 million policy for general liability, and you also have to have workers' compensation insurance. So it's a really good protection for the consumers as they are looking around for contractors to know where they can come to find out who does the kind of work they're looking for, and are they licensed, are they insured, are they reputable, how do we get in touch with them. We get calls every week of people looking for someone to put in a window, someone to fix a door, someone who, I'm coming to Topeka, who can I contact to build a home or remodel a home that I've purchased. So we're a pretty good source. We like to say we're the first stop for anyone looking for remodelers or building contractors.
And I know we've discussed it on the show before, but if your contractor isn't insured and they should happen to get hurt on your property, you are now responsible for them. So you want to make sure that they are insured. It's really a big deal. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, well, they were cheaper.
Right.
Well, yeah, they're cheaper because they're not paying for insurance. And, somebody dies on your ground, guess who gets to pay for that?
Or just as injured. Hospitalization costs are incredibly high.
Outrageous. So that is the reason why contractors that do it the right way do cost a little bit more. So be careful of that. Pay attention. It's a great source to go out and check out. Let's talk a little bit more about some of the members. How did they benefit by being a part of your group?
Well, one of the things that's offered as part of our membership, you actually, when you become a member of Topeka Home Builders, you automatically are a member of the State Building Association, which has some benefits available for purchasing materials and getting rebates from different companies. And then at the national level, you are also become a member at the national level at the National Association of Home Builders. And it's a huge organization that's really always looking out for the construction industry. They are headquartered in Washington, D.C., They have people on staff that are constantly looking at new laws or regulations that affect the cost of a new home or remodeling projects. So having those people be an advocate for all of us is really important. So there are many, many things that we have to deal with in regulations that either come down from the national level, from Congress, or even the state or local level. So that's part of our job, representing the builders and contractors and businesses, is to make sure that things don't get into place that are just going to drive up the cost of a home, which eventually is the cost to the homeowner and the general public.
Absolutely. I know my mom's been looking for a property in another state, and it's just astounding how much higher it is where she's looking at to actually buy a home that is 10 years old. You could build a really nice home in Topeka for that. I mean, it's just crazy. At $144 a square foot is what she's looking at for a home that's like 1,726 square feet. It's just insane.
Many people call and ask us, what's the average cost of a new home? And you mentioned that square footage price. And that's a really flexible answer in most cases, because you can build a house for $100 a square foot and really be cautious about the materials and the amenities that you put in it. You can take that same 1,700 square foot house and outfit it with the best possible kitchen, the latest in cyber technology, and you can drive that up to $200 a square foot. So
absolutely,
the price depends on what level of comfort and style you're trying to get to also.
Yeah, we're talking plain Jane there. So if it had all that other stuff, it'd have been like, okay, well, that makes sense. Also, do you guys ever hold classes or anything for the community to determine how to figure a budget when they're doing building? We don't, to my knowledge, have ever had classes for the general public. When recently at our home show, which happens in March, the Realty Board put on some classes, some sessions during the home show that were available. And we think we're going to do that again this year. But most of our educational opportunities are geared toward the builder and the contractors and the businesses. In order to maintain a license in Topeka, you have to do continuing education hours. And that's what separates many of our builders from others that don't have licenses. We are working very diligently this year to get the county commissioners to establish a minimum building code in Shawnee County. Another thing that I get calls on from people is, can I get access to the inspection records for the house that was built for me last year? And I ask them where they live, and if they tell me an address that is in the unincorporated parts of the county, anything outside the city of Topeka, I have to tell them that it was never inspected, no one ever looked at it, and that's true for a house that was built last year or 30 years ago. Shawnee County has never had any minimum standard building codes, and I underscore the word minimum. Wow.
That's just the basic, and there has never been, to date, any inspections of any project, big or small, in any location outside the city.
Wow, so that means my house was never inspected.
That's correct. Now, if you did a good job of picking your builder, there are many builders who, even though they're not required to be licensed or inspected outside the city, if they build both in the city and outside, they probably do the same good job no matter where they are. It's just senseless to try to cut corners like that. However, there are people who don't build in the city and only build in the county for the reason that they don't have to be inspected. We have many of our remodeling contractors who report to us, well, we were hired to add a room or redo something, and as we tore into the walls, we found many instances of things that would never have passed code. So it drives up the cost of a person's remodel project to repair what should have been done correctly in the first place. So we're pretty adamant about getting to the point, it's 2016. It's way past time that the county has had minimum building standards. And we hope that we're going to be successful with that, to require anyone who builds in the county to have a license, to meet minimum building codes, to be insured, and to have workers' compensation insurance.
So let's touch on just a couple of points of what would be considered a minimum standard for codes.
Well, you usually start out with an excavation when you picked a place to build your new home, and you have an excavating contractor come out, and it's a requirement in code that the ground that you get to, your lowest level there, be able to support a structure and a foundation. So you might have to do soil testing. Sometimes it's easy for an inspector to just take a quick sample and know what kind of dirt that is, that it's not fill. And then it goes on to the next step, which is a footing and concrete foundation. Well, the footings for a foundation have to be a certain size and require to have steel reinforcement in it, and someone could skip that part and save the money that they would have put on steel. I don't know how many people would do that. It doesn't make any sense to do it, but without inspections, we don't know. Foundations are sized based on the size of the home, the size of the structure that's going to be placed there, whether it's 1 story or 3 stories, and those things have to change accordingly. Well, let's say you get the foundation in, and it's time to start building on it. Probably the most stringent code rules are in the framing process. Certain sizes of material, certain sizes of lumber have to be used to span certain distances. And I'd say that's one of the areas where I've personally seen places where people skipped that. They used a certain size of floor joist that went too far for the code. And what that results in is a spongy or bouncy floor. And I'm sure some people have seen that, felt it in different places. Well, those things can be avoided if the code's followed. So getting through that, in the city, you'd get your framing done, and you'd bring in your electricians, your plumbers, and your mechanical contractors. Those are licensed trades, because the results of bad work in those areas are life-threatening. Electrical fires, health and safety issues from plumbing malfunctions or furnace malfunctions. Those things are really critical to make sure that they're done correctly. We hope that no one is injured or dies from any malfeasance in that area, but without inspections, you're just guessing at it. And I think a homeowner should be made aware that their home is not going to be inspected if they build in the county. And we hope to eliminate that problem by requiring inspections.
And just as a consumer, even if you're going out and checking on the work every day, it doesn't mean you know what the codes are. That's
right. The codes, as we said, the National Council on Code Enforcement, those things are under review all the time. So they're always looking at what things have happened around the country, how has it affected someone, and should the code be changed or made more stringent in an area. So sometimes we'll get regulations that require new types of outlets, electrical outlets, or different ways to install light fixtures. And those are all results of code officials over the country saying, here's the problem we've had, we need to correct that, and then it comes down as a new regulation. So those are the things that are there to protect people. And if you're not going to continuing education classes and are well-versed in what the codes are, you don't know what's changed and what has been improved and what could be a real benefit to the homeowner eventually.
So that's one of the key things of the importance of the Topeka Home Builders Association, is to keep that in the forefront of their minds and keep them educated. I know in my field, if you're not, you're just left behind. You've constantly got to be learning and trying to figure out ways to make yourself a valuable resource to a client. There's so many things that change every day that it's just too important to skip.
Well, one of the things that we've noticed is sometimes a home when it's appraised, will not meet the appraisal value needed for a loan. And in some cases, when people are building new homes, they may want to build it to a real high energy saving standard or install a lot of electronic gear that just makes a better quality of life for them. And many times those things don't meet appraisals, or they don't get considered as well as they should. So it's hard for you with a client to get that home sold and a loan in place for it because the appraiser didn't see the value that they put into it by choice. So we're always looking for ways to improve that relationship between the building community and the real estate community, because over the years, the Home Builders Association and the realtors have had a really good relationship. When the economy slows down and we hit that recession for builders, we lost a lot of builders, a lot of people left. And if there's not very many new homes to sell, there's not much interest from the realtors in that. But we feel like that's really improving in this last couple of years. And we're constantly working. I work with Linda Bryden at the Realtors Association, and we try to share information back and forth and know what's going on in each other's fields.
Yeah, and we miss having all the new construction.
Yeah.
So that made a world of difference. And, it seems like most of them have moved to the Manhattan Junction City market, more so Manhattan at this point. Junction City got pretty soft there.
Yeah. We have a couple of builders here in Topeka that have been longtime builders here in our community, and they're working almost exclusively in Manhattan because that's where their business is. That's where their demand is. So it's all in a cycle. I think it'll turn around for Topeka also as we see the people's demand for where they want to live and how they want to live, and whether the younger people really believe in investing in a home or that they just want to rent. There's so many different things available now that we just have to be on our toes all the time to watch for where those trends are and meet the needs.
Absolutely. There are still quite a few contractors here that do custom work. So, don't count that out. If you're looking to purchase and you're just not finding what you're looking for, we can obviously hook you up with a builder that will do a custom. And, that's great because you're picking out what you want.
Right.
Instead of it being built and you having to not necessarily settle, but may not be perfect, but it works for your needs. This way you get to kind of name what you want. Just be aware of your budget. That is the number one way to mess things up. One
of the interesting things, I spent years as a custom home builder in Topeka back in the late 70s and through the 80s. And I always joked with people that as we got close to beginning the project, I said, well, now I'm also going to be your builder, but I'm also going to be your marriage counselor because so many times all those lists and lists of decisions that need to be made put a lot of stress on people. So I always counseled them to put together a plan book of things they wanted to do and how they wanted to do them, and then we'd work that in. But watching the budget is one of those things when you have change orders, all of a sudden you've increased the costs by tens of thousands of dollars, and you didn't intend to, but you just saw so many things you liked that couldn't resist.
Absolutely. We joke the same way. Half the time we should probably be marriage counselors or have some sort of counseling degree, which, by the way, we do have people on our team that do have counseling degrees, PhDs, as a matter of fact. So, even buying a home that's already in place, it's really difficult to find something that meets everybody's needs. And we often have people that we say, okay, well, what they're looking for is a unicorn. We'll try and go find it, but that doesn't mean it's there. Those are really the best people to try and match up with a good builder and just have it be built. And that way it's no longer a unicorn. It's really their dream come true. So let's talk about the home show. Okay.
The home show in Topeka has been put on by the Topeka Home Builders Association for, I'd say, we're in our 50th year. Different locations, of course. We're currently do that at the Kansas Expo Center, but there was a time when that wasn't built yet. So it's been in Topeka for many, many years and branded as the Topeka Home Show. That is an opportunity for our members and other companies to showcase their products, their designs, their capabilities. We have many, many different types of people that consistently exhibit in the home show. And it's generally in the cold wintertime, late February or March, when the ideas are building up, but you can't do anything outside yet. We get many, many people coming to the home show. One of the best examples, there's so many window choices now for people to buy when they're looking at replacing windows or picking out windows for their new home. And we probably will have 7 or 8 different manufacturers represented at the home show and showing their product and talking about it. We attract people who are in the real process of building or planning to build, and then we have attraction for people who are just wanting to do a project at home and get some ideas. We're happy to have people come through there, and we had over 4,000 people last year come to the show, and over the Friday, Saturday, Sunday that we put it on. And most of our exhibitors have commented to me at this last show, the attendance was maybe down on a certain day, but the quality of the leads that they had was up. The people who were there wanted to be there, and they wanted information, and they had good results following up to talk to them about their projects. So we look forward to that every year, and we coordinate with the builders in Manhattan and Lawrence and Kansas City, because many of the companies that display in our show display in those locations too. So we have to coordinate our dates and times, and everybody benefits from a good coordination on that to make those available to people. We're pretty excited about it. It's a great show. And it's a fundraiser for our association. So we try to keep our dues levels reasonable, and we're able to raise some money by having different exhibitors come to that show, and that helps us through the year.
So if people were to have questions, how would they get a hold of you, and how should they reach out to you?
For the general public and consumers, we welcome their questions and queries about whatever they are concerned with. They can call our office. It's 785-273-1260, and we're available to answer questions on just about any general construction or business question. And then we also have a pretty thorough website at THBA.com. And one can go onto that website, and if they want to find information about building a new home or a remodel project, we have a whole section that's geared toward consumers and their questions. How do you plan? What's the steps in getting ready for that? Kind of goes back to the question you had about, do we have sessions or training for that? But we have that online and available. So if they're looking for a particular type of contractor, whether that's a plumbing contractor, or they maybe want to have their driveway leveled, so they need somebody that does mud jacking, we have a section on the website called Find A, and you just go to that, and you can type in a general statement like plumbing, or drive it, or concrete, and you'll get a list of the companies that are our members who work in that field. And there's a lot of different, you probably can't enter anything that won't have some kind of response. Then you can also look and find a builder, and it will return to you the list of licensed qualified builders that are our members. Find a remodeler, find an associate member, because many of our members are in related businesses like carpet, flooring, window coverings, light fixtures. We want to make sure we've got someone in almost every field that we ourselves can use as a good resource for information, but also that when the public calls, we know who to send them to, and they can ask their questions and call us back if they have another question about a different field, or just go through that website. I'd encourage anyone to check that out and see what all's there.
And I would say really look at going there first. I know that there are all these lists out there, but remember that 99.9% of those, they pay to be a part of that list. So they don't always necessarily check them out. It's
Right.
just as long as I paid my money, then I will be on the list. You really want someone like Topeka Home Builders Association that do go out, and you really have to be someone of quality to be allowed to be a part of that company.
We certainly are aware that not all really qualified, good builders, remodelers, and businesses are in our association. We know that they're out there, and that's true. For whatever reason, they might choose not to do that. But we're not concerned about the really good people. They're going to do business well, and if they get referrals, it's because they've done a good job for their customers. So it's the people who don't do good jobs and who take advantage of older people, take their money on a half-finished project and leave. Those are the things we are very adamant about trying to reduce and stop in our community.
Absolutely. So again, if you would like to check out the Topeka Home Builders Association, go out to THBA.com or give them a call at 785-273-1260. And if you're looking to buy or sell a house, give us a call. We are Topeka's only realty executives, and we are the preferred advisors team. Our number is 785-213-5188, or check out our website at TopekaRealtyExecutives.com. Thanks again for listening to Real Estate 101.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. Tune in again next Sunday at 11 o'clock for Real Estate 101.